congregation of monks sit serially around a tamed fire, peacefully admiring it. One amongst the monks, one of the younger fledgling novices, appears anxious, uncertain, and doubtful. One of the older senior members sees this, and then questions the young member. What appears to trouble you, young one? The older member questioned with curiosity in his tone. The young monk, who was originally lost in thought, then acknowledges this. He answers in stutter and with hesitation. I apologize, master. It is I find myself distant and unable to really connect with the teachings of monastic life. The older member then turned to think in contemplation. Do you know of our origins of the martial art karate? The older member questioned. The young monk took a moment to think of how to respond. No, I do not, he responded with a hint of sorrow in his voice. Without the past, there is no future, and no lesson in which you can learn. You must better your knowledge of the past before you can better yourself in the here and now. To learn and better himself, the young monk bowed reverently before the eldest monk and begged, Please, I implore you, teach me, teach me of the origins of karate. The elder monk looked down at the young monk reverently, with a faint sign of a proud feeling within his expression. If you are to be taught of the past of this ancient art, it will not be I who teaches you, but him, the elder monk announced, pointing to a monk not sitting with the rest of the group. The young monk then turned to look at the mysterious figure. Confusion then struck the monk, like a punch from one of their training exercises. The individual then slowly made his way to the group, with his head bowed low, as if he were in prayer. The young monk then appeared worried for a fear in which he could not name. Strange individual then questioned the young monk. It is the past you seek knowledge of. The strange individual then sat down beside the ember glowing fire and said, Listen, young one, and listen well, for I tell you that which is the past. Legend says there was a Buddhist monk who heralded from India, brought with him a fighting style. It is believed this monk to be the Indian Buddhist Bodhidharma. The young monk then interrupts the strange individual who was just telling the story of karate. Do you speak of the originator, the founder of Zen Buddhism? The young monk questioned curiously. The rest of the group then shot the young monk a glare of malice. The young monk then realized his mistake and proceeded to humbly apologize for interrupting. As I was saying, the legendary founder of Zen Buddhism, Bodhidharma, had brought his own fighting style, Shinfa, during the Sung dynasty, which was around 960 to 1279. Style found its way to the Okinawa island in 1372, with how little else is known of its arrival. In the centuries to follow, Shunfa remained strong in Okinawa as a fighting style, alongside a local fighting style known as Todi to the islands. 1609, the Satsuma clan marched to claim the Ryuka Islands, taking and banning any and all weapons. Okinawa was not spared from such a cruel fate, and was forced under a brutal occupation from the Satsuma clan. During this harsh occupation, the two styles had become bonded together, which had led to a new method. This method was designed to improve the strength in both physical and spiritual bodies. This style then became known as Ki. The fighting style was practiced in three towns: Shuri, Naha, and Tomori. The practice was done in secret, as to keep it from the Satsuma clan. The styles were named after towns respectively: Shuro-ti, Naha-ti, and Tomoroi-ti. During 1784 and 1903, Ti was then replaced with karate. 1875. The Satsuma clan's occupation has finally ended, and now Okinawa has become a part of the Japanese Empire. Then, in 1903, the martial art became an open practice in schools. And that is its history. The strange figure concluded. Tell me, now that you know of the past, how will it better you for the future? The figure questioned. The young monk then thought in seldom in how best to answer the question. He had listened intently, but was unable to find a connection and gain a true understanding. A heavy burden of sorrow fell upon him as he replied, mournfully saying that he had not learnt anything. The monks then had looks of dismay for their comrade's lack of understanding. The young monk then knelt before the mysterious figure, like a devoutful servant, and begged before him. Please, the young monk yelped, as if he were in pain. Forgive me, I have failed. The mysterious stranger then let out a sigh of discouragement. The young monk found tears falling down his face like a whimpering child. Endurance, that is the lesson, the mysterious figure answered. The young monk was then lost in confusion. Endurance? The young monk questioned. This great art has endured the test of time, passed from one generation to the other. The wisdom and burden, the release and the pain. Many have endured the teachings of our art, yet until you find your rock, that which keeps you to the path you seek, You will be unable to progress. The mysterious figure spoke with fire cracking constantly to match his fiery tone. The young monk then found himself looking at his hands, as if realization just hit him in the face. The sorrow gradually drained from him and was replaced with a new sense of determination. I will strive to do better. I will strive to find my rock, the young monk exclaimed. Confusion then struck his face as he rose to meet the stranger's eyes. In that brief moment, the mysterious figure had disappeared, as if vanishing into thin air. Confusion was stuck on the monk's face, much like pain after receiving a blow. This confusion had only furthered with the other monks simply chuckling at such sight. Regardless, the monk then pulled focus to himself and began to think of how to better himself, of how to improve himself, of how to find his rock, to be his anchor, so that he may endure.